This is WoodysGamertag, and I make Call of Duty videos for people that are not gaming gods. So this is my first video. I'm waiting for my Hapaj to come in. I thought while I did that, I would talk about the guns in the game. So there are a handful of guys on YouTube who are amazing. They run around with their sensitivity set at 10, yet still maintain perfect accuracy, and those guys are fantastic, and I love to watch them. But I find that when I try to emulate their game style, it doesn't work for me. These guys are gods of gaming, and I instead have better luck when I use tactics and knowledge. So my channel is going to be devoted to sharing tactics and knowledge that help people who aren't gaming gods, that are not ex-Cal. So first I'm going to talk about the guns. This is on Den Kerson's page. I don't know how to pronounce his name. And he's done a fantastic job of putting together information about the guns. So let's look at this. Let's go to the M4. This red line indicates the damage caused by each bullet with an unsilenced M4. This blue line indicates the damage caused by each bullet for a silenced M4. And over here is the hit indicator, or the multiplier. So for a headshot, you can take that damage and multiply it by 1.4. This comes into play especially on some of the other weapons, but in general, it just shortens the range for the damage, or for any given damage on these weapons. The assault rifles break into three classes for the most part. They're the M4, the ACR, are the low damage, low recoil weapons, and they're fantastic for any map where you think you're going to have a lot of long distance engagements. So I like to use them on Wasteland. I like to use them on Rundown and maps like that where I tend to find people a longer way. The burst fire weapons are good for those too, the FAMAS and the M16. In my hands, these weapons are almost impossible to distinguish. Their fire rate is the same, the fire time is the same, and their damage is the same. I kind of prefer the FAMAS iron sights if you want to run it silenced or bling, but I can't tell a whole lot of difference between these weapons, and I like them both okay for distance maps. But the fully auto ones I think are more forgiving, and I can fire even before I'm right on target, which is handy. If you run Scavenger or Scavenger Pro, I don't mind dumping a whole clip into a guy to get a kill, so long as I get the kill. Accuracy is not a stat that I concern myself with. With the FAMAS and the M16, it matters a lot because you have to get on target before you kill. If it takes 2 bursts to kill with these guys, then they're one of the slowest killing weapons in the game. So that changes the way that you play a little bit. The SCAR and the AK-47 fall into another class, and that they're high damage weapons. They're real nice for maps where you find yourself in the same room a lot. Skid Row is a good example of that, where I always seem to be right next to the guy. And when that happens, their kick doesn't bother me so much because when I'm in the same room, all my bullets go on target, and they're a little quicker time to kill when you only need 2 bullets like that. So that's fantastic. The F2000 is in a range, or in a class of itself, in that it has a lot of kick and very little damage, and I don't like the iron sights. So I don't use this weapon a whole lot. I've tried it. The first time you get it, you unlock it, you're excited about it, and then you find out, like, oh, the guns don't get better as you move along. They just get different. Sometimes they're better, sometimes they're worse. Between the AK-47 and the SCAR, it's just about a tie, but the AK-47 has 30 bullets in the magazine, and the SCAR has 20, which means that I don't have to reload as much. Or if I'm in a situation where I'm trying to kill 2 or 3 guys on the same clip, I have better luck with the AK than I do with the SCAR, because I tend to spray a lot, which is great for the kill-death ratio and is great for winning, unless you run out of bullets, and then that's a problem. So that's the assault rifles. The submachine guns. So to use a submachine gun well, you have to be real careful. You have to navigate the map in such a way that all your engagements are up close. And that means staying out of the open and using it almost as if it were a knife-only class. These kill pretty quickly because you don't have to pull the sights up. The steady aim and the small hip spread, which is down here, helps a lot. You can shoot from the hip, which means that you get your bullets on target quicker than a guy who, say, has an assault rifle and tends to left trigger every shot. And even if he does hip fire, you should have a higher percentage of bullets on target because you have a smaller hip spread with the submachine gun. Having said that, the maps in Modern Warfare 2 don't lend themselves to a lot of close combat, or I find it more difficult to navigate the Modern Warfare 2 maps than I did the COD 4 maps in a way that makes sure that you only get close quarters engagements. So most of the guys seem to agree that submachine guns were a better idea in Call of Duty 4 than they are in Modern Warfare 2, but this game's only been out a month and a half. Things could change, people could learn new styles, and we'll see how things evolve. The light machine guns, they have a lot of kick, and their fire time is kind of slow. If you're new to the game, you might think, oh, wow, I've got this great gun and it makes a really powerful sound when you kill, but that's dangerous because they kick so much, a lot of your bullets go off target, they aren't really quick to kill. These are better distance engagement guns. But I want to talk about sniper rifles before I run out of time. The Intervention and the Barrett, the numbers are the same on these guys in terms of the damage indicator, and on paper the Barrett should be better in every way because you can follow up with the shots quicker, and if you get in the same room with somebody, then you can just hip fire spam, and oftentimes you'll get the kill even though the hip spread is enormous on these guns, because it only takes 1 or 2 bullets to get a kill with this thing, and you can rapid fire and be okay. Having said that, anecdotally, a lot of people like the Intervention better. They find they're getting better kills. I don't know if the bolt action impacts their style in such a way that their accuracy's higher and that's helping them, but on paper the Barrett's better. In real life, a lot of guys find the Intervention to be better. That's, you know, spend some time in the game and see what you think. WA2000. Here's a weapon that doesn't benefit from stopping power, and let's do some math to talk about that. Or unsilenced, it doesn't. So at 70 damage, which is the unsilenced weapon, times 1.5, you get a kill, 105. And then there is no 1.1 damage indicator. So if you were to compare that to the Barrett and Intervention, which is the same, and take that 70 times 1.1, you get 77. You multiply that by stopping power, and you get yourself a kill. So stopping power on a lot of the sniper rifles, the Intervention and the Barrett, makes the stomach a one-hit kill area. For the WA2000, the stomach doesn't have any multiplier. It's 1. So it's not a kill. Having said that, 50 times 1.4 is 70. Oops, I must have made a mistake. That means that when you put stopping power on a silenced weapon, it brings it up to the same effectiveness that you had unsilenced. So if you don't want to run an ACOG or something else, then you can put stopping power on it and still get a one-hit kill chest and higher with this weapon. And so that's something for you to consider. Do you want to run stopping power or cold-blooded? If you run this thing unsilenced, then you can go cold-blooded and save yourself from air support. So it's something to consider. I like to run this gun with cold-blooded because it keeps me off the UAV. It protects me from sentries if I want to go knife one. And most importantly, Harriers, Pablos, things like that, they don't see me. And then for the human-operated ones, I look like an ally. People don't tend to kill me as much. So that's a really good thing. The shotguns, I'm almost running out of time here. See this times 8? So you have 40 times 8. This does 320 points of damage, and then it drops. But the spread on this is enormous, and the bullets disappear quickly. So in this case, it's saying the bullets disappear in 25 meters. On some of the other weapons, like the AA-12, they disappear even quicker. This is probably 17 meters. It hardly shoots across the room that you're in. But so up close they kill, at a distance they don't, and that about says it all. The 1887s have been nerfed recently, so they don't shoot as long as they used to, but their real superpower was the spread, and that spread is down now. But they nerf the bullets, and these shotgun bullets just magically disappear quickly. But I hope that this helps people figure out which guns they need to run stopping power and which ones don't need it, and helps you figure out how to use this chart so you can make some own observations of your own.